Today in the world of cannabis, clashing ideals in the Mexico Senate cause an unanticipated drawback in federal cannabis legalization discussions. Universities in New Mexico begin to develop medical cannabis curriculums fresh off the state's recreational cannabis legalization progress. And the Cannabis Freedom Alliance begins lobbying Republican and right-wing lawmakers to support cannabis policy reform. It's Monday, April 12th, and this is your TRICHOMES Morning Buzz.
Broadcasting live from the TRICHOMES.com studios in Southern California. It's time for your Morning Buzz. We bring you late-breaking news that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the cannabis industry.
First up, the Mexico government's plan to legalize cannabis has stalled in the Senate, which is considering a new edition of the measure. Senate Majority Leader Ricardo Monreal said that they want to pursue a delay to the Supreme Court's April timetable to amend the existing prohibitive rule, so it's uncertain if the measure will be voted on again this month. The opportunity for an industry with among the largest global pools of qualifying cannabis users is at hand. Individuals will be able to grow crops at home, and companies would be permitted to apply for operating certificates as early as 2022, picking the attention of both foreign and local shareholders. Since the Supreme Court ruled the existing prohibition unconstitutional in 2018, policymakers have been waffling on the measure's wording. A prior iteration of the measure, which would authorize the consumption, retail, and cultivation of cannabis, was passed by the Senate in November. In March, the Chamber of Deputies, the Congress's lower house, approved its own variant of the plan. However, the governing Morena Party, which had previously supported the measure, issued a notice last week criticizing the Chamber of Deputies' modifications, casting doubt on the measure's prospects.
And next up, KRQE reports that New Mexico state legislators see cannabis as a burgeoning market, and universities in the state are starting to build courses to train and educate students for employment in the sector. In June, Northern New Mexico College will teach an online course geared toward those seeking to learn more about the medical cannabis industry, named the Cannabis Establishment Technician course. Currently, over 45 students have already enrolled. What we're offering with the Cannabis Establishment program is that it's going to catch you up on the last 14 years of cannabis in New Mexico while preparing you for what's to come in New Mexico, said instructor Ishmael Mondragon. For Mondragon, it is anticipated that this will develop into a credential curriculum with many courses. When it comes to training with the plant itself, though, they will have to think outside the box. Once we have a grow class, we're going to be using hemp, and in that, you will learn that hemp and marijuana are the same, Mondragon said.
Last up, in a report by the Salt Lake Tribune, the newly formed Cannabis Freedom Alliance has set their sights on lobbying Republican and right-wing lawmakers in the U.S. to back cannabis policy reform. Last week, TRICHOMES reported that the organization was created in partnership with Snoop Dogg, activist Weldon Angelos, and rightist billionaire Charles Koch. One of the first lawmakers the coalition is focusing on is Senator Mike Lee of Utah. Angelos, a former Utah music artist, received a 55-year prison term for trafficking cannabis while in possession of weapons. Angelos' case was taken up by Lee and advocates who pushed for their freeing and opposed mandatory minimum sentence statutes. Angelos spent 13 years behind bars until they were released in 2016, and since then founded the Weldon Project as a legislative reformation champion for criminal justice and drug policies. In addition to expressing consideration for updating banking laws with cannabis businesses in mind, during a meeting with the Utah House Democrats in 2019, Lee supported the reclassification of cannabis from a Schedule I to a Schedule II substance, which would enable further testing. Lee has yet to respond to requests for comments on the issue.
And that was today's Buzz. Thanks for listening. For more cannabis news and insights from industry professionals and a place to discuss these stories and others, visit TRICHOMES.com.
And be sure to catch up with all of our other cannabis industry-related podcasts like Hash It Out, Careers in Cannabis, or the International Cannabis Conversation, wherever you get your podcasts. For TRICHOMES.com, I'm Devin Leon.
And I'm David Fortin. Catch you next time.